Today we're going to talk about geometric probability. So geometric probability is trying to determine or answer the question, what percent of the picture is shaded? So 95% of the time, we're going to use this formula. We want the area we want divided by the total. When we put that in our calculator, that'll give us a decimal, and then we can easily convert that decimal to a percent. But the goal is to find the percent of the picture shaded. So most of the time this works, like I said, but sometimes just a little common sense works too. But let's go through these. So on number 1, we want to find the percent of the picture shaded. So I like to kind of make a plan, because if you have a plan, it's easier to figure out where to go next. So to get the shaded area, I'm going to find the shaded area by subtracting, doing the rectangle minus the rhombus. That'll give me the area that I want, the shaded area. I need to divide that now by the total area, which is the rectangle. So now that I have my plan, I'm going to plug in the numbers. So the rectangle is found by taking 14 times 6, and 14 times 6 is 84. And then for the rhombus, I have to do 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Well, one diagonal is given, and the other we can figure out is 6. So half of 8 is 4, so this gives us 24. So now that we have the two numbers, now we're going to plug that into our plan. We're going to do the rectangle, 84, minus the rhombus, 24, divided by the total. And when you're putting that in your calculator, you want to do 84 minus 24 and then hit equal, then divide by 84. Because otherwise your calculator will mess up the order of operations. And when you do this, we're going to round to the nearest whole percent. So you're looking at the first two decimals, and that will leave us with 71%. All right, let's try it again. Number 2, probably the shaded, picking a point in the shaded region. It's just asking us what percent of this picture is shaded. Okay, so to do that, we're going to do circle minus triangle divided by circle. So circle, because this is what we want, and this is the total. That's how I figured out that formula. So circle is pi times the radius squared, which would give us 144 pi. Now, to put this into our formula to figure out the percent, this needs to be a decimal. So I'm going to take 140 times the pi button, and I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth, because that's what our decimal is going to be at the end to get the percent to the wholest number. And we get this. Now we need to do the triangle. With a triangle, I can do 1/2 base times height, or 1/2 little a times perimeter, because it's regular. Because I don't know the base of the height here, I'm much better off using 1/2 little a times perimeter. Which unfortunately, I don't know either one of those numbers right now, but I can figure it out. Because if I draw in the apothem in a triangle, that angle will be 60. 12 is the long side, so the short side is 6, and the medium is 6 square root 3. So now I know the apothem is 6, but now I have to find the perimeter. Well, one side is 12 square root 3, and there's 3 sides, so the perimeter is 36 square root 3. Half of 6 is 3, and now I got to multiply. 3 times 36 is 108, so I get 108 square root 3. Now I need to make that a decimal, so in my calculator I'm going to find the square root of 3 first, which is 1.7 something, and then take that times 108, and to the nearest hundredth I'm going to get 187.06. Now that I have my numbers, I'm going to plug it into the plan. So circle, 452.39, minus triangle, 187.06, divided by circle. Okay, so I have 452.39 minus 187.06. Hit equals, then divide 452.39, and to the nearest hundredth, 59% of this picture is shaded. That means if I pick a random point, there's a 59% chance that I'm picking a point in the shaded area. Okay, let's look at number 3. What are my two shapes? Well, I got a circle and a hexagon. So to do the shaded, I'm going to do circle minus hexagon divided by the circle. So the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. Well, that's just 18 squared, so we get 324 pi. Oops, got the 4. This needs to be a decimal, so take 324 times the pi button, and we get 1017.88. Now we got to do the hexagon. Well, the only formula we have for a hexagon is 1/2 little a times perimeter. So we don't know either one of those things, but when I draw on the apothem, we know in a hexagon this angle is 30, so now I can start to figure out those other numbers. This is the long side, that's 2a, so the short side is 9, the medium side is 9 square root 3. So now I know the apothem is 9 square root 3. But I got to find the perimeter. One side is 18, and I have 6 sides, so 18 times 6 gives me 108. Now I can simplify this equation. Half of 108 is 54. 54 times 9 is 486. So I get 486 square root 3. But I got to make it a decimal, so in my calculator I'm going to find the square root of 3, which is 1.7 something. Leave that number in my calculator, and then take it times 486. And we get 841.78. Alright, now I know in this video I'm going a little fast, but if you aren't doing the calculations with me, stop and try them to make sure you're getting the same numbers in your calculator, because a lot of this deals with just calculator skills. Alright, plug it into your formula. You get 1017.88 minus 841.78 divided by 1017.88. Okay. Now, as you're doing this, keep in mind the number in the numerator should never be negative, which makes sense, because even though you may have bombed a test, you never have done so bad you get a negative score. So, it's got to be positive in the top. 17% of the picture is shaded, meaning if you picked a point at random, there's 17% chance it would land in the shaded area. Whoops. Let's go back. Alright. Now we need number 14. So you can you can probably tell me the plan. I'm going to be doing square minus circle divided by square. Okay, so the square is easy. That's just 4 squared, which is 196. The circle is pi times, well, 14 goes all the way across, but I just want halfway across, which would be 7. So it would be 49 pi. So in my calculator, I'm going to take 49 times the pi button, and I get 153.94. So now that I have all the facts, I'm going to put it in my plan. 196 minus 153.94 over 196. Okay, practice in your calculator. Make sure you hit equals after you do the subtraction, and then divide. Figure out what you get. You're going to look at the first 2 decimals so you can round to the nearest whole percent, which should be 21%. Okay, 2 problems left. One that takes a lot of work and one that takes almost no work. Let's do the hard one first. So, the plan is easy. Pentagon minus circle divided by pentagon. So for the pentagon, the only formula we have for a pentagon is 1/2 little a times perimeter. Well, good for us. We have the apothem. Bad for us, we're missing the side. Find the perimeter, but we can figure this out. So now I need to figure out this angle in here. So in a pentagon, there's 5 triangles, so we'll take 360 divided by 5 and get 72. But when that apothem gets drawn in, it splits the side in half and splits the angle in half, so this is 30. I need to find half the side. Well, if I'm looking at this is opposite, and this is adjacent, which means I'm going to use the tangent. So the tangent of 30 equals opposite over adjacent. So in my calculator, I'm going to find the tangent of 30. I'm just going to leave it there, because think, I know I'm going to have to cross multiply, so just leave it in there and multiply it by 10. And I get what? Oh, this is not 30. This is what? Half of 72 is 36. Okay, take 2. Alright, so then I'm going to leave it in my calculator, multiply it times 10, and to the nearest 10th, x comes out to be, when you use the right angle measure, 7.3. Now be careful, that's half the side. So the whole side is 14.6. So the perimeter is 14.6 times 5, which is 73. So in here, half 10 is 5. So my area comes out to be, computer glitch, but let's keep going. Half of this is 5, so my area comes out to be 365. And now I got to do the circle. Well, the circle is pi times the radius squared. The radius is 10, so that's just 100 pi. So I have 100 times pi button, which gives me 314.16. Alright, now that I have the numbers, put it into the plan. So I have 365 minus 314.16 divided by 365. And that gives me, I think I typed something wrong, hold on. 365 minus 314.16, you type it with me, and divide by 365, there you go, 14%. Alright, one last one that's super easy, and we're done. So, geometric probability, like I keep saying, it's asking the question, what percent of the picture is shaded? Now, sometimes we just have to use the formula. We don't have another chance. But other times, we don't have to work that hard. Look at the picture. We don't necessarily know the percent immediately, but we certainly know the fraction. The fraction is 5/8 is shaded. Well, I can make that a decimal. 5 divided by 8 is 0.625, which to the nearest hundredth is 0.63, which is 63%. Done. So some are going to be a little challenging, but some are pretty straightforward. All right, you can complete your homework, and your homework is due next class.